Hey guys, Wade here, top of the morning to you. In this video, we're going to be discussing something very important to Bitcoin, especially if you're new. A lot of people came into the space last year, and with that, you may have missed a very important event that is crucial to the progress of Bitcoin. What I am talking about is the Bitcoin halving. Now, for those who are veterans in the space, like I said, you probably are familiar with this. I got into crypto at the end of 2019. So that means that in 2020, I saw my first halving. And I'm going to tell you, this is when things really heat up. Now, this is very early. The next halving isn't until May 4th of 2024. So we have about 744 days, but it's the preparation that leads up to this event that if you want to be a clever investor, you're really going to keep an eye out for. So let's jump right into the information, guys. Smash that like button if you're finding value, and let's get right to it. So halfway to the halving, what does this mean for Bitcoin? Well, Bitcoin halvings are important events that have taken place since the digital asset was first launched back in 2009. Since then, there have been a total of 3 halvings that have seen block rewards cut down by half each time. The next Bitcoin halving will happen in 2024, which means that the market is halfway there. As this fourth halving draws close, we take a look at how this affects the supply of BTC and in turn, the value of the cryptocurrency. So guys, really quick, what we're establishing right now is the mining rewards that are going to be reduced. Okay. What we have seen recently is an increased amount of mining activity. Larger players are moving into the Bitcoin mining space. They're trying to make Bitcoin mining more energy efficient. All of those elements tie into this information that we're talking about in this video. Now, the Bitcoin halving is scheduled to happen every 210,000 blocks. And the estimate for the next halving is to put it around May 4th of 2024. Going by the current rate at which BTC was mined, currently there have been a little over 19 million BTC mined, which only leaves an additional 2 million BTC that is left. With the halving cutting back blocks rewards by half, presently sitting at 6.25 per block, it helps predict the supply mechanics of the digital asset. With each halving, the daily issuance and supply will go down. It is expected to fall even lower with the next halving, where each block reward would only be 3.125 BTC. And with the average of 144 blocks that are mined per day, the daily BTC awarded to miners on a daily basis will fall from 900 to 450. This helps to ensure that the supply of Bitcoin diminishes over time, making it one of the core features of the monetary policy for the network. So again, what this is describing, guys, is the scarcity that is really about to come into Bitcoin. And with Bitcoin being the leader of our market right now, when there's a fundamental development or advancement or condition even that is going to bring more value to this price, it's going to bring the rest of the ecosystem up. So even if you're strictly invested in altcoins and you don't really like to mess with Bitcoin or Ethereum, and I know there are a lot of people like that, this information is still important to know. Now, how this will impact Bitcoin. This is big. The Bitcoin halving has various effects on the cryptocurrency. One of the ways where these effects are more prominent is mining difficulty. With less BTC being rewarded to miners for each block, it makes for stiffer competition, causing mining difficulty to skyrocket. This is evident in the trend that has followed the last Bitcoin halving, which took place in 2020. Likewise, Bitcoin's hash rate also increases as miners require more computing power to be able to mine blocks. Now, one notable thing about the current state of the network, and this has been news recently, but the low fees. The fees have been the lowest they've been in a long time on the Bitcoin network. Even though Bitcoin is halfway to another halving, transaction fees have remained near all-time lows. This is said to be the result of more efficient use of block space, and there is no evidence that there is a decline in the economic usage of the network. We already know that the next phase for Bitcoin, probably proof of stake, but before that will be the payments renaissance. Okay, we already see Bitcoin being used as legal tender. More countries are starting to choose to incorporate Bitcoin into their monetary policy, not to mention all of the retail applications that are now accepting Lightning Network, Shopify, everybody, Cash App. Like, we already see what's happening, guys. Now, one thing will always remain constant across all Bitcoin halvings, and that is the effect that it has on price. Now, this next part may not necessarily be what you want to hear. When I read it, I was kind of like, ooh, but then again, this is still presenting an opportunity. Halfway through the next halving have been when the digital asset has recorded some of its lowest prices. So there are expectations that the price will suffer at this point. Nevertheless, a halving that reduces the supply of BTC going into circulation has always been a trigger for the next bull rally, and 2024 is expected to be no different. Now, with that information, guys, that when I first heard about halvings in late 2019, I'll admit to you, I learned about the Bitcoin halvings and the halving cycles from, BitBoy Crypto. Okay. I mean, hey, despite what people say, he knows some things. He knows a thing or two about Bitcoin that you can give him. He knows about Bitcoin for sure. But the point is, when I was getting educated on the halving in 2019 and then in early 2020 leading up to the event, guys, it was really exciting watching the reactions and how everything was developing the closer we got to it. Now, notice how it peaked in May. We had the halving in May, but I believe all-time highs, we peaked in April. Okay, so if we will I'll leave you with a scenario. If history were to repeat itself and we go off the mathematics and the fundamentals of how Bitcoin behaves around and in between halvings, we may stay where we are for another couple months. Okay, not to say that there won't be pumps in between. I have been looking at the charts. We are still in the lower channels, but we've been bottoming out. Okay, and then we still haven't touched 30K again. I want to remind people of that. We still haven't touched 30K again. So if we are going to enter a period of, I would call this accumulation, some sideways movement, then we do just that. We sit back, we wait, and we accumulate, because guys, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen in 2024. You're going to get rich. That's it. Like, if there is no other signal in this industry that is almost 100%, it's the Bitcoin halving. Okay. In 2020, that's when I hit pay dirt for the first time, was around the halving. And then there was speculation that, okay, if we don't reach 100K in 2021, then that means that the halving conditions have kicked in, and we probably won't see it until sometime in 2023, the end of 2023. Okay. So now, I'm not spreading any FUD. Okay. That's not what I do here, but I'm give you all of this information, the complete package, so that way you just become a more well-rounded investor. And you can take this away from this video. If it's not going to happen this year, you can guarantee the closer we get to the next Bitcoin halving, the more you're going to make. Okay. So we just got to wait it out, guys. But I wanted to share that information with you because it's important to know as a crypto investor. It's like a fundamental, it's in the rule book, the guidebook they give you when you first come into crypto. They should give you, but they don't. However, that's what I'm here for. So with all that being said, though, guys, that's all I got for this video. If you found value, and of course, you know what to do. Hit that like button, subscribe, ring the notification bell so you don't miss the next one. Also, I got some more interesting Bitcoin related content. Okay, I direct you to my first video on the Lightning Network. Okay, it explains the fundamentals and the reason why we have the Lightning Network and what it's going to be used for. And then this one is going to be talking about Taproot. Okay, Taproot was the most recent development that hit the Bitcoin protocol, and without it, we would not be seeing some of the things that we have been seeing in recent months, especially when it comes to the integration of the Lightning Network. So while you're watching all of that, guys, I want you to have a great day, have a prosperous day, and most importantly, if that money is digital, so is the hustle. I'll see y'all in the next one.